You're standing at the edge, aren't you? Just one step away from the precipice, unsure whether to jump or turn back. But listen, there is no turning back anymore. Not for you. Not today. The world has tried to convince you that you're small, that you're powerless, that you don't have what it takes to rise above it all. But let me tell you something. Those lies were never yours to carry. You were never meant to live in the shadows of others. You were born with the fire to burn brighter than anything that ever tried to dim you. Look around you. The weight of their expectations, the sting of their doubts. They may have crushed you, but they cannot destroy you. You may feel like you've been living in the quiet aftermath of your own defeat, as if everything you hoped for has slipped away. But hear this, the world does not get to decide your worth. You do. And right now, in this very moment, you're standing on the edge of something far greater than you realize. I know what you're thinking. You've heard this kind of talk before. Maybe you've even told yourself it's too late for you, that you've missed your chance, that life has passed you by. You've gotten so comfortable in the idea of being less than what you could be that it's hard to imagine a different reality. But what if I told you that everything you've been through, every painful step, every heart-wrenching failure, every tear you've shed, it was all just the beginning? What if I told you that right now, you are standing at the threshold of your greatest awakening? This is not the end of your story, not even close. The truth is, you've been waiting for permission, for validation, for someone to come and tell you that you're enough, that you matter. But here's the hard truth. No one is coming. You have to give yourself that permission. You have to realize that the fire within you, yes, that fire you've buried under the weight of everything life has thrown at you, is still burning. It's always been there, waiting for you to see it, waiting for you to feed it, waiting for you to believe in it. This is your moment, the time to stop hiding, stop doubting, stop playing small, the time to recognize that the power you've been searching for is not somewhere out there in the world, waiting to be handed to you. It has always been inside you. It's always been yours. You are not some fragile thing, waiting to be consumed by the world. You are the fire that refuses to be extinguished. You are the storm that no one can control. And today, right now, you have a choice. To keep living as you have, or to step into the untamed, unstoppable force that you are meant to be. You see, there's something within you, something far more powerful than you've ever acknowledged. It's the power to rise above the doubt, to shatter the ceilings they've placed above you, to burn down the walls that have confined you for far too long. And the world will not know what hit it when you finally step into that power. This is not a coincidence. You're hearing this because it's time for you to wake up. It's time for you to stop waiting for things to change and make them change. It's time for you to realize that the life you've been dreaming of, the person you've been trying to become, she's right there, inside of you, waiting for you to set her free. You've been told you're not enough. You've been told you're too much. They've told you to play it safe, to blend in, to hide your brilliance. But now, the time for hiding is over. Now is your time to rise. The fire within you, it cannot and will not be extinguished. Not today, not ever. It is time for you to step forward, to let that fire burn so brightly that it sets the world ablaze. The moment you stop dimming your light is the moment the world will understand exactly who you are. And who you are is someone they cannot ignore, someone they cannot defeat. You are the fire they will never be able to put out. The time for transformation is now. Will you rise to it? Will you let yourself become the force you were always meant to be? I'm not here to inspire you with empty words. I'm here to wake you up, to shake you from your slumber and remind you of the power that has always been inside you. You don't have to wait any longer. It's time for you to rise. It's time for you to become the fire they cannot extinguish. And when you do, the world will never be the same again. You're exhausted, aren't you? Mentally drained, emotionally bruised, and physically weary. It feels like the world is closing in on you from all sides. Every step you take seemingly dragging you deeper into the muck. You wake up every day hoping for something to shift, for something to change. But all you seem to face are the same walls, the same challenges, the same weight on your chest. And every time you reach for something better, it slips away like sand through your fingers. It's hard, I know. It's hard when you feel like you're giving everything and yet nothing seems to be enough. You've tried, you've put in the work, you've fought battles no one knows about, but where are the results? Where is the breakthrough that everyone talks about? It's as if the universe keeps telling you that you're not worthy of the life you desire, that your efforts are futile, that you will never rise above the struggle. You are futile. Every rejection, every failure, every setback feels like another dagger to your heart. You try to push through, but with every setback, the weight grows heavier. And the worst part? The doubt. It keeps creeping in. It keeps telling you that maybe you were never meant to succeed, that maybe all the dreams you had were just fantasies you were too naive to ever achieve. But here's the truth. The doubt you feel is not yours. It was planted by someone else. It was sewn into your mind by those who couldn't see your greatness, who were too afraid to let you shine. It's not your failure that holds you back. It's not your lack of ability. It's not your shortcomings. It's the voices around you, the toxic, narrow-minded voices that told you to settle, to play it safe, to stay small. Those voices may have come from others, but most often, they come from within, whispering lies about who you are and what you're capable of. They made you believe that you couldn't rise higher, couldn't reach farther. They made you doubt the very fire within you. They made you question if you're worth it, if your dreams are even worth chasing. And it's not just the voices of others. It's the weight of your past that drags you down, the failures that still sting like fresh wounds, the missed opportunities, the chances that slipped away. You replay those moments over and over, questioning where you went wrong, wondering if you could have done something differently, if you could have made a different choice, if things could have turned out better. You've been carrying the burden of those mistakes, those what-ifs, for far too long, but you're still here. You're still standing. You didn't let those failures destroy you, even though they tried. You didn't let the weight of regret crush your spirit. And then there are the expectations, the ones others have of you, the ones you've internalized over the years, society standards, family's dreams for you, the career path they want you to follow, the success they've laid out for you, as if your life has already been written for you, and you're just supposed to follow the script. But who says it has to be that way? Who says you have to fit into their box? Who says you're not allowed to rewrite your own story? Those expectations are not yours. They never were. They were projected onto you by a world that is scared of what happens when someone like you stops following the rules and starts creating their own. But despite all this, despite the voices, despite the failures, despite the weight of others' expectations, you've survived. You've kept going. Every time they tried to break you, you stood a little taller. Every time they told you no, you found a way to push through. You've endured so much already. You've walked through the fires of your own doubts and emerged from them stronger, even when you couldn't see it. You've faced every challenge, every heartache, and every roadblock that came your way. And here you are. You're still here. You're still standing. Do you understand the magnitude of that? That alone is proof of your resilience, proof of your strength. You've weathered storms that would have crushed others. You've carried burdens that were never meant for your shoulders. You've been through hell and come out the other side, and you did it alone, with no one cheering you on. You didn't give up when life told you to. You didn't bow down to the pressures of others. You kept going, even when you felt like the world had forgotten about you. That's power. That's strength. That's the fire that burns within you. But somewhere along the way, you started to doubt it. You started to listen to those voices that said you weren't enough, that you couldn't make it, that you weren't meant for anything bigger. You let your failures define you. You let others' opinions control your worth. You started to believe that your dreams were just dreams, that success was for someone else, not you. But that's not the truth. The truth is, you have everything you need within you to break free from all of this. You don't have to carry the weight of others' expectations or your past mistakes anymore. You don't have to listen to the voices that try to keep you small. You have the power to step into who you were always meant to be, to rise above the struggles that have held you back, and to create a future that is yours to claim. You've endured everything so far, and you've come out stronger each time. That means you're ready. You're ready to take control of your life, to stop letting your past define you, and to start building the future you deserve. The villains in your story, self-doubt, toxic people, past failures, societal expectations, they don't get to write your ending. You do. And right now, the pen is in your hand. It feels like you've reached the end, doesn't it? Like you've given everything you have, yet the world refuses to meet you halfway. Every step you take seems to push you further into the darkness, further into a place where hope feels distant, like a flickering star that's just beyond your reach. The dream you once held so tightly in your hands now feels like it's slipping away, out of sight, out of touch. You've tried, you've pushed, you've fought for every inch, but nothing is changing. Nothing is moving. There are days when you look in the mirror and you don't even recognize the person staring back at you. It's like that spark, that drive, that fire you once had, it's been snuffed out, drowned by the weight of disappointment and defeat. And the worst part? It feels like you're all alone in this. Like no one sees the struggle, no one understands the depth of what you're going through. You're stuck in a place where the future feels like a shadow and the past feels like a constant weight pulling you back. And no matter how many times you try to rise, it feels like something drags you down, deeper into a pit that you can't escape. It's easy, in moments like these, to convince yourself that this is it, that this is your life now, that nothing is going to change, that you're never going to break free from the chains that bind you. The world has told you that this is as good as it gets, that your best days are behind you. And when every door seems locked, when every path is blocked, when every effort leads to nothing but frustration, it's tempting to believe that maybe they're right. Maybe you really don't have what it takes. Maybe your dreams were just a fantasy and you were foolish to ever think you could have anything more than what you've already got. But let me be clear. That feeling you're experiencing right now, that sense of being trapped, of sinking further and further into the abyss, that's not the end. That's not your final destination. It's a moment, a fleeting moment, though it may feel endless. It is a test, not your fate. You're not alone in this despair. The world has a way of making us feel like we're the only ones suffering, like no one else understands the weight we carry. But you are not the first to face this kind of darkness. Every single person who has ever risen to greatness has faced moments like these, the moments when everything felt impossible, when every dream seemed unreachable, when every effort was met with failure. And yet, they kept going. They didn't let this low point define them. They didn't let it steal their spirit. But I get it. You're tired. You've put in so much work, so much energy, so much of your soul into things that haven't yielded results. It's as if you've been running a race with no finish line. Every turn you make only leads you to another dead end, another disappointment. You feel as if you've been abandoned by the universe. Like the dream you've held on to for so long is nothing more than a cruel joke. And the deeper you fall into this pit, the more you start to believe the lies. That you're not capable, that you're not worthy, that you've missed your chance. But I'm here to tell you something that might sting a little. Stagnation is the real enemy. The belief that you are trapped, that this is as good as it gets, is the very thing that keeps you locked in this despair. You may feel like you're stuck, like you're caught in a never-ending loop of failure, but the truth is, you've stopped moving. You've let yourself settle into the comfort of despair. You've allowed the world's opinion of you to define your worth. And with every moment you spend in this place, you give up a little more of your power. The real danger is not the pain you're feeling right now. It's what happens when you let that pain convince you that you're powerless. When you let it convince you that you can't move forward, that you can't change, that you can't rise. When you let it convince you that the world has defeated you. Because let me tell you something. This darkness is not your enemy. Your own unwillingness to move, to fight, to push through is what keeps you in this place of despair. But here's where it gets tricky. It's so easy to get stuck. It's so easy to remain in the place of self-pity, to let the weight of the world become your excuse for inaction. Because it feels safe there, doesn't it? In that pit of despair, at least you're not failing anymore. At least you're not taking risks and facing rejection. At least you're not taking risks and facing rejection. At least you're not putting yourself out there to be hurt. But do you know what else you're not doing? You're not living. You're not growing. You're not becoming the person you were meant to be. And that's where the real cost of stagnation lies. In the loss of everything you could be. In the dreams you could have realized. In the person you could have become. Staying in this place of despair may feel like safety, but it is the ultimate form of self-sabotage. You're not just avoiding pain, you're avoiding the life you were meant to live. So yes, I see you. I see the weight of your doubts, the pressure of your failures, the exhaustion that has stolen your spark. But I also see your strength, even if you don't see it yet. I see the resilience that has gotten you this far, the quiet courage you've displayed in the face of adversity. You've faced worse than this. You've been through harder times, and you've survived. Now, it's time to stop surviving. It's time to stop waiting for the world to change and start changing yourself. This place of despair, it's temporary. It's temporary. The pain you feel right now, it's not the end of your story. But if you stay in this place, if you let it keep you stagnant, it will be the end of your potential. And that, my friend, is the greatest tragedy of all. There's a choice in front of you now. Will you stay here, caught in the grip of despair, letting the world tell you who you are? Or will you rise from this low point, stronger and more determined than ever before, knowing that you are not defined by the darkness, but by the fire within you that refuses to go out? There's a whisper in the silence, a flicker in the dark. It's so faint, so subtle, that you might miss it if you're not paying attention. But I want you to listen closely, because it's there. Beneath the weight of your doubts, beneath the crushing burden of your fears, there's something stirring. It's a quiet force, a spark of something more, something you might have forgotten, or perhaps something you've ignored for too long. It's the very essence of you, and it's waiting to be awakened. You see, the truth is this. Change is not only possible, it's inevitable. You are not meant to stay in this place forever. You were not created to be shackled by your past, by your failures, by the limitations that the world has placed upon you. You were made to rise, to evolve, to transform. And though the darkness may seem all-encompassing right now, it is merely the prelude to your rebirth. Think of the seed buried in the cold, hard earth. It doesn't look like much. It's small, fragile, and surrounded by dirt. But inside that seed, there is a force greater than anything the earth can throw at it. It has the power to break through the soil, to push upward toward the light. It doesn't wait for someone to come and dig it up. It doesn't wait for the sun to shine first. It simply grows, because it knows that growth is its destiny. In the same way, you are that seed. You have everything you need within you to rise above the darkness, to push through the pain, to reach for something better. And though you may feel buried beneath the weight of your struggles, there is something inside you, an unspoken resilience, a quiet strength that is waiting for the right moment to break through. But here's the thing, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to lift you out of the pit. You've waited long enough for the world to change for you, for someone to give you permission to rise. But the truth is, that's not how this works. No one else has the power to change your life. The power to transform your circumstances has always been yours. It always has been. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that someone else will notice our pain, that someone else will come to our rescue, that a miracle will fall from the sky. We wait for a sign, for a shift, for the stars to align, but transformation doesn't work that way. Transformation happens in the quiet moments, when you choose to rise, even when the world tells you to stay down. It happens in the decision to take control of your own destiny, to stop waiting for the world to move, and to start moving yourself. And here's the beauty of it all. Even in the darkest moments, you can find the spark. Even when you're at your lowest, even when it feels like everything around you is falling apart, there's a glimmer of something more within you. It's always been there, like a tiny ember waiting for the breath of life to ignite it. And once that spark catches fire, there will be no stopping you. Think about the night sky. The deeper the night, the brighter the stars. It's in the darkest hours that the smallest light shines the brightest. You too have that light within you. And even though it may feel like the night will never end, the dawn is already on its way. The sun doesn't need permission to rise, it simply rises, because that is its nature. And in the same way, your power to change, to grow, to evolve, is your nature. You don't need permission, you just need to take that first step toward the light. I know you've been waiting. You've been waiting for a sign, for a moment of clarity, for someone to tell you that it's time to act. But what if I told you that the moment you've been waiting for is now? What if the only thing standing between you and your transformation is the decision to move, to take control of the fire that's smoldering inside you and let it burn bright? You don't need to wait for the world to change for you. You don't need to wait for someone else to come and pull you out of the darkness. You have everything you need to rise right now in this moment. It's time to stop looking outward for solutions and start looking inward. It's time to stop waiting for the world to hand you opportunities and start creating them for yourself. The power has always been yours. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're not trapped by your past. You are a force of nature, a spark of potential that is just waiting to be set alight. And though it may take time to rise from the ashes of your struggles, know that with each step you take toward your own growth, you're getting closer to the life you've always dreamed of. It's time to stop waiting for the world to change and start changing yourself. The seed doesn't wait for the perfect conditions to grow. It grows because it knows that it's meant to reach for the light, and so are you. Your journey to transformation begins now. There is no waiting for a better time. The moment is now. Take the first step. Ignite the spark within you and watch as it sets the world around you on fire. You are the one you've been waiting for. You are the change you seek. And nothing, not the darkness, not the doubt, not the past, can stop you now. The moment you begin to understand the full weight of what I'm about to say is the moment you unlock the first door to your true potential. Everything you've endured up until this point, the pain, the heartache, the struggle, was never for nothing. All those battles, all those sleepless nights, all the sacrifices, all the moments when you thought you couldn't go any further, they weren't just events in your life. They were the forging of your spirit, the tempering of your soul. You are not who you were yesterday. You are not who they told you to be. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a warrior who has survived every battle, no matter how fierce, no matter how brutal. And that survival, that's your power. That's your fuel. When you look back on your struggles now, I want you to see them for what they truly are. Not burdens to bear, but weapons to wield. Your pain is not a weakness. It is the fire that has burned away the impurities, leaving behind the purest version of yourself. Every trial, every tear, every moment when you felt like giving up, these are the building blocks of your strength. You didn't just make it through those moments, you were shaped by them. Think about it for a second. The greatest warriors are not the ones who have lived without scars. They're the ones who have been to the edge, who have faced impossible odds, who have stared down fear and walked through it. And that is you. You have walked through fire and emerged stronger. You have faced your demons and lived to tell the tale. And now, it's time to stop hiding behind the stories of your suffering and start stepping into the power that's been waiting for you all along. The world may have tried to break you. The doubts, the failures, the betrayals. They tried to push you down, to make you believe that you were less than you are, but you didn't break. You bent, yes. You may have even been brought to your knees, but you didn't break. You stood back up, and now you're standing stronger than ever before because you know that what's inside you cannot be destroyed, not by anyone, not by anything. You are the hero of your own story. You are the one who holds the pen. This isn't the time to wait for someone else to come and change your circumstances. This is your moment to take control, to seize your destiny with both hands. The power to transform your life has always been yours. It has been there, quietly waiting for you to remember. You are not powerless. You are not a passive observer in your own life. You are the architect of your future, the creator of your own reality. But to embrace this power, to truly take hold of it, you need to stop seeing yourself as the victim of your circumstances. You need to stop viewing yourself as someone who is at the mercy of the world. Because the truth is, the world can do whatever it wants to you. It can throw obstacle after obstacle in your path, but it cannot take away your will to fight. It cannot take away your strength. There is a warrior inside you, and now is the time to wake her, to rise him, to unleash the fire that has been smoldering within you for so long. Every setback you've faced, every failure you've experienced, it's just a lesson in disguise. It's the universe showing you exactly what you're made of, testing your resolve, and you've passed every test. The scars on your heart, they're badges of honor, proof that you've fought and survived. You are not weaker for having gone through hardship. You are stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you've ever been. Do you know what makes a hero? It's not the lack of fear, it's not the absence of struggle. It's the ability to rise again, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. It's the courage to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. And you have that courage. You've always had it. This is your call to action. It's time to stop running from your pain. It's time to stop seeing your past as a weight to carry and start seeing it as the foundation beneath your feet. Your past doesn't define you. It empowers you. It has given you the tools you need to succeed. It has taught you lessons that no one else could teach. Every hardship, every mistake, every heartbreak, it's all part of your training. Now, I know that the idea of moving forward, of stepping into this power, can feel overwhelming. But remember this, you are not alone in this. Every hero has their doubts. Every warrior has their fears. But what separates the ones who rise from the ones who fall is the choice to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep moving. The path to greatness is never easy. It's never smooth, but it's yours to walk and it's yours to conquer. So what are you waiting for? The world is not going to come to your door and hand you success. You need to get up, get moving, and claim it for yourself. There are no more excuses, no more waiting, no more wondering if you're enough. You are enough. You have always been enough. You are capable of far more than you can even imagine. Your pain has shaped you. Your struggles have made you stronger. And now you are ready to stand tall, to fight back, and to take what's rightfully yours. The hero's journey is not a smooth ride, but it's your ride, and every twist, every turn, every challenge, every victory will belong to you. You are not just surviving anymore. You are thriving. You are unstoppable. And you will not let anything or anyone keep you from becoming the person you were always meant to be. This is your time. It's time to rise. It's time to embrace the fire within you and let it burn away every doubt, every fear, every limitation. It's time to stand tall and be the hero of your own story. No one else can write it for you. Only you have the power to shape your future. And trust me, your story is going to be one for the ages. There comes a moment in every person's life when the fog lifts, when the veil is pulled back, and they see the truth. It's not the kind of truth that's hidden away in a book or whispered by someone else. No, this truth comes from within. It's the moment when you look in the mirror and you finally realize you were never powerless. You were never weak. You were never destined to be a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of your own story, and the pen has always been in your hands. This is the moment of awakening, the moment when everything shifts. It might feel like a revelation, like a bolt of lightning striking through your mind, but it's more than that. It's the moment when you stop seeing yourself as a passive observer in your own life, and you start seeing yourself as the architect, the master, the ruler of your own fate. You are not helpless. You never were. Think about that for a second. What if everything you believed about your limitations was a lie? What if the stories you've been telling yourself, the stories about how you can't do it, how you're not good enough, how you'll never make it, what if all of those were just chains holding you back from the truth? What if the only thing keeping you from the life you've always dreamed of is the belief that you're not capable of achieving it? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the world is against you, that the odds are stacked so high that there's no way you can ever overcome them. It's easy to believe that the failures you've experienced define you, that the mistakes you've made are permanent stains on your soul. But I'm telling you right now, Those beliefs are lies. They are the narratives that others have imposed on you and the ones you've taken on as your own. But they're not your truth. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. You are not defined by your past, your mistakes, or your failures. You are defined by the power you hold in the present, the decisions you make right now, the actions you take today. And that power is limitless. That power has been within you all along, just waiting to be recognized. This is the turning point. This is the moment when you stop being a victim of your own life and start being the hero. You are not trapped in your circumstances. You are not confined by the stories others have told you about what you can or cannot do. You are free. Free to create, free to change, free to be whoever and whatever you want to be. I know you've been held back by fear. I know you've believed the lies that tell you you're not enough, that you'll never be good enough, that you'll never be able to change the things in your life that feel out of your control. But those beliefs are shackles. And the moment you recognize that, the moment you understand that they are nothing more than illusions, you break free. The chains fall, and suddenly you realize the only thing standing in your way is you. So let me ask you, what's stopping you? What is it that's really holding you back? Is it your past, your failures, the voices that told you you couldn't? Or is it simply the belief that you're not capable of more? I'm telling you now, whatever that thing is, it has no power over you unless you allow it to. It's time to stop believing in the narrative that keeps you small. It's time to break free from the story that tells you you can't. You are the author, you are the storyteller, and it's time to write a new chapter. What would happen if you truly believed in your own power? What would happen if you looked at every challenge, every obstacle, and saw it not as a wall to your success, but as an opportunity to prove your strength? What if you saw every failure, every setback, not as a defeat, but as a lesson? What if you realized that nothing in this world could ever stop you from becoming everything you are meant to be? This is your awakening. This is your realization that you are not just a bystander in your own life. You are the creator. You are the force that drives your destiny. Everything you need, everything you desire, everything you've been waiting for is already inside of you. All you have to do is stop doubting, stop questioning, and start acting. You are the key to your own transformation. You are the fire that will burn away everything that has ever held you back. So now, I'm challenging you. Let go of the stories. Let go of the limitations you've placed on yourself. Let go of the idea that you're not capable of greatness. It's time to reclaim your power. It's time to take control. Because the moment you understand that you are not helpless, that you are not a prisoner of your past or your circumstances, that's the moment everything changes. You are not a victim. You are not defined by the challenges you've faced. You are defined by how you rise above them. You are defined by the choices you make today, and you are powerful beyond measure. When you truly understand this, when you truly accept this, you will no longer be afraid of anything. You will no longer let the opinions of others hold you back. You will no longer let the fears of your past control your future. You will rise, and nothing, not fear, not doubt, not failure, will ever be able to stop you again. This is the moment of truth, the moment when you recognize that you are the one who holds the power to change everything, the moment when you realize that nothing has the ability to define you unless you let it. This is the turning point, and it's time to step into the greatness that has always been yours. You are not helpless, you are not weak. You are powerful, you are capable, and you are ready. Now take that power, take that belief, and step into your destiny. The world is waiting for you to show up, and it's time for you to rise. It's a moment of reckoning, of truly standing face to face with the person you've become and seeing for the first time the person you were always meant to be. In this moment, you'll realize something undeniable. You've only just begun to scratch the surface of your potential. The you who once doubted, who once hesitated, who once feared the future, this version of you is not the real you. That person was only a shadow, a reflection shaped by the world's limitations, the weight of its expectations, and the false narratives you carried for so long. But now you are stepping into your greatness. You are stepping into a version of yourself that you didn't even know was possible. A version so powerful, so unstoppable, that nothing could ever stand in your way again. The person you used to be, full of doubt, uncertainty, and hesitation, was only the beginning of your story. The person you used to be, full of doubt, uncertainty, and hesitation, was only the beginning of your story. The hero, the leader, the powerhouse that you are becoming, that's the story that's just beginning to unfold. Look at how far you've come. Remember the days when you felt like you were drifting, unsure of your direction. Remember the nights when you doubted your worth, when you questioned whether you were enough. Now, in this moment, do you see how far you've risen? Do you see how much strength you've built? Every setback, every failure, every painful experience, it wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to shape you into something greater. You are no longer that person who felt small, insignificant, and powerless. You are now the person who holds the keys to your destiny, and you're ready to unlock the doors that have always been waiting for you. You've tapped into something deeper, something more profound than you ever thought possible. The potential within you isn't just a dream. It's a reality that you are beginning to embrace, step by step, action by action. The person you are becoming is fierce, unstoppable, and unapologetically bold. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer seeking validation. You've learned to trust yourself, to rely on your own strength, and to forge ahead with relentless purpose. In this moment, do you see the vision of your future? Do you see the confident, thriving person you are becoming? Picture it. See yourself standing tall, radiating the kind of energy that attracts success, abundance, and purpose. You are no longer the person hiding in the shadows, waiting for someone else to recognize your worth. You are the person everyone looks to for inspiration. The person who leads by example, who lives authentically, and who refuses to be anything other than her or himself. Look at how far you can go. Your potential is limitless. There are no more barriers in your way, no more ceilings to your growth. You are capable of achieving things that once felt impossible. You can rise to the top of your field. You can build the life you've always wanted, filled with purpose, passion, and fulfillment. You are worthy of greatness. Your dreams are not too big. The life you desire is not out of reach. Everything you've ever wanted is right there, waiting for you to claim it. Imagine this future. You're no longer the one holding back, the one second-guessing every decision, the one frozen by fear. You are confident. You are powerful. You are unstoppable. You are living the life that you deserve, a life that fills you with purpose every single day. You walk with your head held high, your heart open to the world, and your soul aligned with your deepest desires. This is your future. This is the life you've been building toward all along. And let me be clear, this future is not some distant dream. It's a reality that begins today, in this very moment, with the decisions you make and the actions you take. The person you've always wanted to be is already inside of you, and with every step you take toward your true self, you're bringing that vision to life. You were never meant to play small. You were never meant to hide in the shadows or dim your light to make others feel comfortable. You were meant for greatness, and now you are stepping into that greatness with every ounce of courage, strength, and determination you possess. The past, it doesn't define you anymore. The struggles, the setbacks, the doubts, they are nothing compared to the power that now pulses through your veins. The person you are becoming is the person you were always meant to be. This is not the time to shrink. This is the time to rise, to step into the spotlight, and to own the person you are becoming. No more apologies, no more hesitation. You are powerful, you are worthy, and you are unstoppable. You have everything you need to achieve greatness. The world is waiting for you to step into your purpose, to show up fully, unapologetically, and to claim the life that is rightfully yours. This is the ultimate transformation, the shift from doubt to confidence, from limitation to freedom, from fear to fierce determination. You've broken through every barrier, and now there's nothing left to stop you. You are becoming the person you always knew you were capable of being. The path ahead is clear, your future is bright, and you are unstoppable. You are a force of nature, and this world has yet to see what you are truly capable of. But they will, because you are just getting started, and nothing, not fear, not doubt, not failure, will ever hold you back again. This is your time, your moment, your life, and you are ready to live it in full, unapologetic brilliance. The future is yours. The time is now. This is not a moment for hesitation, for waiting around to be given permission, or for someone else to show you the way. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment, I'm telling you right now, there is no perfect moment. There is only this moment, the one where you choose to rise, to claim what is rightfully yours, to take action and never look back. You've already come so far. You've broken free from the lies. You've awakened to your power. Now the only thing left is to step forward. No one else can make this decision for you. No one else can give you permission to chase your dreams. If you've been sitting in the backseat of your own life, waiting for someone to drive you to your destination, it's time to take the wheel. You are the creator of your destiny, and the time to act is now. I know it feels overwhelming at times. I know the doubt still lingers, that inner voice telling you you're not ready or that it's too late. But let me remind you, that voice is not your truth. It's the remnants of your past, the echo of all the people who tried to convince you that you couldn't. But I'm here to tell you that the only thing that matters is what you believe. You are ready. You've always been ready. The only thing that has been standing in your way is your own fear. and that fear has no more hold over you. So, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? So you're not waiting for anyone else. You're not waiting for some mythical sign or for someone to tell you that you're enough. You know that you're enough. You know that you have everything you need to succeed. Now it's time to act. The first step forward is the hardest, but it's the one that sets everything else into motion. So, take that step. Commit to your own success. Commit to yourself. The path ahead is yours to create. If you don't know where to start, let me help you. First, begin by setting your intention. What do you want? What is the life you're working toward? It might feel vague right now, but don't let that stop you. Start with a vision, no matter how blurry it may seem, and begin to shape it with every action you take. Break it down into smaller steps. Write down your goals. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Just start. Move in the direction of your dreams every single day, no matter how small the steps. Action is what creates momentum. Second, surround yourself with the right people. You are the sum of the people you spend the most time with. So make sure you're spending your time with those who lift you up, who push you to be better, who challenge you to keep going even when it gets hard. Eliminate the toxic influences, the naysayers, the people who still try to hold you back. They don't deserve space in your life. Your energy is precious, and it should be invested in those who support your growth. Third, make a commitment to yourself. Not to the world, not to anyone else, but to you. The greatest investment you can make is in yourself. Every time you show up for yourself, every time you choose action over fear, you are building the life you deserve. It won't be easy, and it won't always feel comfortable, but that's how you grow. That's how you transform, and there's no transformation without discomfort. So get comfortable with the discomfort, embrace it, let it push you forward. The world won't wait for you to be ready. It won't stop for you to find the courage. The time to act is now, and the only thing standing in your way is your willingness to believe in yourself enough to take that first step. Stop waiting for someone to hand you permission. Stop waiting for someone to hand you permission. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Take the action. Make the leap. You are the only one who can push you into your greatness. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have the whole plan figured out. What matters is that you begin. Start today. Make a decision that you will no longer let fear control you. Make a decision that you will no longer sit on the sidelines of your own life. The life you want, the life you deserve is waiting for you, but you have to go after it. You have to claim it. And here's the thing, once you start, there's no going back. You will look at yourself and you will realize just how powerful you are. Every step you take will make you stronger. Every decision you make to move forward will build the momentum you need to achieve your dreams. You have all the strength, all the fire, all the courage you need. You just have to trust it. You just have to believe that you are capable. You are capable, that you are capable. So stop waiting, stop doubting, stop holding yourself back. It's time to take action. The world is waiting for you to show up, and you're ready. You're capable, and you are unstoppable. This is your moment. This is your time, and nothing will stand in your way. You've unlocked your fire. Now go out and set the world on fire, because you are unstoppable, and you were born for greatness.